Hi, I'm Brian Mallow, and joining me now is Lisa Klaus from Berkeley. Lisa, hi.
Hello.
So you are a postdoc in the computing sciences and computational research area.
Yes, that's correct. I am a
Excellent.
postdoc in the computational research division.
I've been asking people what kind of scientist they identify as, and then you sort of surprised me because, well, technically you're not a scientist, you're a mathematician, aren't you?
Yeah, I'd still say I'm a scientist.
Oh, are you a scientist? But so did you did you have a science background and somehow you sort of moved over into more mathematical computational stuff? Tell me a little bit about your academic history. I guess starting with, did you always know that you wanted to do this kind of work?
I did not. I didn't expect it. When I was in high school, I really was into mathematics. I really like solving puzzles. That was really interesting to me. So I just stick with this. And yeah, I just studied my bachelor's, my master's, and then also
Were
moved into...
your bachelor's and your master's, were those in math?
Yes, in applied mathematics.
Applied mathematics.
Yes, and then I did the same for my PhD, also in applied math or numerical mathematics.
And then let me ask you, I'm sorry, was this all in Germany?
Yes, that was all in Germany. I did all my studies in Germany, but I did internships in the US and California during my PhD. Yes, at Lawrence Livermore.
Nice.
And this is how I got interested in living in California.
And yeah, so you did that, and then what is your postdoc position? You came over to Berkeley.
Yeah.
To do what?
So now I work a little bit more on the computational side. Before I really just worked on solving mathematical equations, developing algorithms, and now I work more on implementing these algorithms with using computer software, developing computer software, and it's really exciting for me to do this, but it was a learning process for sure.
I'll bet. It's interesting. So you really liked math early on. I was always pretty good at math and science and I liked math, but you know what? I did not like trigonometry in 11th grade, but then in 12th grade, before we go to university, I really liked calculus. Calculus made sense to me. It like you solved problems. I don't know if it was just a bad teacher and a better teacher, but trigonometry, I hated it. I didn't do well and I hated it. And then the next year I did great and loved calculus. Do you have any favorite areas of math, or is it all?
During my studies, I really liked mathematical optimization. That was really more about this solving puzzle part. And I felt like there were more applications immediately in mind for me, while other parts, like, for example, geometry, were never really my favorite because there's just, it just seems like more pure math and not so much real world applications.
So then now with your postdoc, are you doing real world applications?
Yes, that's really exciting.
Tell me a little bit about the work.
Yeah, so the software that we develop at Berkeley Lab is really universally applicable. For example, you could use it to solve climate change applications, to use this for simulating real world application as, for example, climate change. So that's really exciting. I feel like I actually do work on software that's actually used in the real world and not just pure mathematics that everyone hates.
Yeah, your presentation for this will be the 4th annual Research Slam at Berkeley. And I understand you did submit previously, right? Last year you tried to participate in the Slam?
I did. Yeah, I did submit a video. It wasn't as good as this year, but I'm happy that I could improve over the year. And now I'm one of the finalists.
And you're one of our 12 finalists this year. So is this a different talk, or did you just sort of improve it? Is it the same subject matter?
Well, the same research topic that I present, but I approached it in a different way. I think it's more, for people, it's more entertaining now.
And you called this talk "How Computer Software Helps Fighting Against Climate Change." So there it is. Like, could you, I don't want you to give the talk right now, but could you tell us a little more about your work and how computer software helps fight climate change, I guess?
Yes, sure. So the software that we develop, as I said, is really applicable to multiple different applications. And in my Slam talk, I just present one application, that is climate change. So to basically approach the fight against climate change, we need to simulate the real world to see which scenarios play out and what we as humans can do to basically move towards fighting against climate change. So this is why we developed this software, and then hopefully we can move closer to this.
Yeah, we've all for years been hearing about the predictions from models specifically about climate change. And I just saw some presentations on climate change that are very alarming, and they have a lot of projections based on models. But I mean, obviously the model, it doesn't take in the entire system of the Earth, which is even the entire system of the Earth and sun and moon. Like it doesn't, no model we create can incorporate every facet of reality. So how can we count on it to be accurate? Is that something?
Oh, that's a really good question. And I think throughout the years, we are moving closer and closer to be more and more accurate. Years ago, we weren't able to do all this because we didn't have all the resources. Now we have giant computers that can store so much data. So it's super exciting that we can just develop software that enables all these resources. And now we can actually use more and more data. Of course, it's never as accurate as we wish for, but I think we will come closer and closer with more and more resources and better computer software.
I guess the model's always evolving as you see how it's done with the predictions for this year and next year. And yeah, very interesting. What, I know you like math and you care about the environment. Maybe those are the answers right there, but what gets you up to get to the lab and do your work? Do you go to the lab to do your work?
Now I'm allowed to go again once a week. I go to the lab, which is really exciting. I really do not like working from home all the time, because this is one thing I really like about the research, is this teamwork and basically having colleagues I could talk to and seeing people every day. That's really motivating to me. And that's what I really like about Berkeley Lab. Before doing my PhD, it was more focused on my own work, but now it's more a collaboration and a lot more interaction with other people to come up with solutions for better algorithms.
And because you're working with such huge supercomputers, does that right there imply that there's a lot of collaboration, like you said, that just because these are the kind of like the resources, is there a lot of international cooperation in what you do? Is it pretty widespread, or?
Yeah, a lot of people try to use these resources in the best way possible. And I'm actually also hired through a project that's really collaborative, just basically enabling that the computer software is all combined pretty well and also uses all the resources in the most efficient way.
Well, very interesting. And as we come up on the Research Slam, do you have any feelings about it? are you nervous? Are you excited?
Both. I'm really nervous, and I know I will be really nervous on the day when I give the talk. I hope practicing will help getting over this, but I'm also really excited and I'm looking forward to it. It's a really nice experience.
What do you think about the role of science communication and public outreach for the scientists? Is this something that it's your first time doing this Research Slam, but do you do any other public outreach, and do you think it's important or fun to do?
I do. I like it a lot, and I think it's really important. And Berkeley Lab really gives a lot of opportunities to do this too. I'm really passionate about also encouraging other women or girls to get into this field. I think that's not as common. Mathematics is never really seen as like a field where a lot of women are present. So I really like doing outreach to encourage more young women to, basically get into this direction of mathematics and computer science and get excited for it.
That's great. Is there anything more that you would want them to know, like towards that? Any other like messaging for, especially for young women?
Well, I
Girls,
think the
even.
most important part that's always a challenge is to keep in mind that this is not something that they cannot do. I think it's really, really, they need to know that everyone can do this, whatever they feel like. And if they're excited for it, that's all you need to approach a career in this field.
Excellent. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to me. And I really wish you good luck on the slam.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much.